It's all over.
What's up guys, it's your boy Rob here and welcome to another chart analysis episode. In today's video we're going to be discussing the brand new release Perception video. Now before I start the video real quick, I just want to let you guys know that this series is not an in-depth analysis for each video. What I do in this series is I look at the video and I try to interpret what that's going to affect in the game. So I take a step back and I analyze the entire special perk chart or perk tree, and I try to predict how the perks and all the abilities that are shown in the video are going to be in the actual game. But without further ado, let's get going on with this episode. So in the new Perception video, we learned that the attribute is going to be affecting a lot of new abilities, and most of them are going to be hopefully linked with a different perk. For example, we now know that Perception is going to affect the ability of VATS. Now it's not an ability, but it's a perk. There is a perk referred to VATS in the video. As we can see, he talks about how Perception is going to be affecting your accuracy level and all that sorts of stuff. And then at the end of the video, we see how the narrator talks about one of the perks, and that perk, we're going to be calling it the VATS perk. Now we see that the Vault Boy aims at a mole rat, and we see how it highlights in green, and if you actually zoom in this picture, we actually see how that perk, the mole rat, is actually highlighted in the VATS classical green. So now we do know that there is a perk completely related to VATS. Now what I'm going to assume this perk does, this perk is going to, the more you upgrade the perk, the more accurate you're going to be in VATS. And that sounds right. If you put more points or more experience points towards the ability to the perk VATS, you're going to get better with VATS. That makes a lot of sense. Afterwards, we do go on to see that Perception is going to also affect your ability to lockpick and also pickpocket. Now we do see there's a lot of more abilities with these two skills, and there's probably going to be a perk correlated with lockpicking and pickpocketing. The more you upgrade the perk of lockpick and pickpocket, the better you're gonna get with it, and that makes sense. Now after we are done talking about the abilities that it's going to be affecting, the narrator does go and move on and look at the perk tree. Now we do see a little pan of the perk tree at the end, and I'm gonna be talking about that at the end, but I'm gonna be now talking about the perks that they showcase. So we already talked about the quote-unquote VATS perk that's going to be affecting your accuracy with VATS and all that kind of stuff. But then we go on to see what I'm going to be calling the quote-unquote explosions perk. Now, of course, this explosions perk is not completely confirmed onto what it's going to do, but we can safely assume that it's going to be affecting the damage we do with explosions and all of the explosion skills would have dealt with. And finally, the last perk that they talk about in the video is the sniper perk. Now, we already have a sniper perk in previous games, and of course that improves your accuracy with snipers and all that stuff, but of course this could be entirely and completely different. This might deal with the range your bullets can hit. Maybe it doesn't have to be just the snipers, maybe it can be like long range weapon. Again, we do not know, we don't have all the perks confirmed, so what we can do is assume. So I'm going to assume that the sniper perk is going to be dealing more with your out of VATS accuracy. So we have a VATS perk that's going to deal with your VATS accuracy, but maybe the sniper perk is going to help you have more accuracy outside of VATS. So you shooting from your hip or in first or down the iron sights, maybe your accuracy will be improved over that perk. So again, these all perks make sense, they're easy to understand. So again, there hasn't been a lot of huge surprises regarding perks. It is quite a big surprise that VATS and gun accuracy, those are all going to be affected by Perception. That is completely new. You know, that hasn't happened in Fallout 3 on Fallout New Vegas, and I'm totally cool with that. I'm glad that we're shifting the entire system, so it's like an almost completely new game, and I'm really excited about that. Now that we're done talking about how the perks are going to affect the gameplay, now we're going to try to put them in the actual chart. Now, it's pretty much confirmed that the 8th perk in the Perception column is going to be the quote-unquote sniper perks, you know, shown by this image, and you can clearly tell that the guy is crouching down with a sniper. But the ones that I haven't seen anyone actually see is that the fact that the third level of the Perception, it's clearly the quote-unquote VATS perk, as we can see by this image in the actual video and in the zoomed-in image at the garage. We can see that there's a little green smudge, and then there's a Vault Boy standing to the left of it, so we can safely assume that the third level of the Perception is going to be the quote-unquote VATS perk. Now, the first two levels of the perception are completely, I do not know what they are. The first one seems to be, it's the Vault Boy, Vault 111. He's dealing with some furniture. It looks like some sort of cabinet, but it could also be a computer. It could be a machine, and then there's a guy leaving. Now, this could be a lockpick / pickpocketing perk. I can't really make out what's going on. You guys can let me know what's going on down there. And the second perception level perk is what looks to be a cowboy Vault Boy shooting a gun. Don't know, I have no idea what that's going to do. Again, maybe that deals with your accuracy somehow. Again, it's very difficult to tell because there's a lot of perks that supposedly are going to be dealing with guns. So we don't know. Maybe like the sniper perk is only going to be affecting your snipers. Maybe this perk will only affect your rifles. Or again, it's very, very complicated and it's hard to understand. But we can place the first two levels. I'm going to be calling the machine perk and the cowboy perk. Those are the first two levels of perception. The third level is what I'm going to be calling the VATS perk. We've already talked about that. And then from then on, we have no idea else. I've been squinting my eyes at this perk chart for like a good 20 minutes, and I don't know which perk is going to be the explosions perk. My best bet is going to be number 5, I believe. Now, the only difference is that the Vault Boy is on the opposite side from the video. In the video, the explosion was on its right side, but in the image, it seems to that's going to be on the left. If you zoom in the video, it looks like he's crashing with a TNT block, and there's a little yellow / reddish explosion on his left side. That would make sense. So I'm going to assume that that is an explosion perk. Again, we do not know what level number 4 is going to be. Again, level number 5, he looks like he's wearing a cloak. And then from then we can see that it's a sniper perk. And then the last two, I have no idea. I cannot make out what those perks are. So I'm going to assume that those perks are all new. So hopefully I kind of explained everything that we have or we know so far. If you guys have figured some stuff out, if you guys kind of know what the perks are going to do, if you guys have more ideas on what the perks are going to do, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to be discussing with you guys, so please do that. So that's going to be it for this episode of the perk chart analysis series. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Again, if you guys have any ideas or questions or comments, let me know down there and I'll be right there with you guys. But I did want to clear out some doubts that you guys had on the previous video, which was that you guys thought that I didn't know what the perks were. You guys were complaining that I didn't know what the little leak perk was, the little leak perk is, and etc. I do know what those perks are. What I don't know if those perks are returning with their same name, or if they're going to have the exact same effect. Because again, we're getting a whole different system. Perception now affects VATS, and pickpocketing lockpick, that didn't used to happen. And again, if I'm wrong about some of these things, that's okay. You guys just let me know in the comment section below, and I'll properly add an annotation saying, hey guys, I was wrong about this. So if I'm wrong, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll fix it. But I just want you guys to understand that I'm not claiming any of this to be correct. This is just me speculating. This is just completely me rambling. Not rambling. This is me analyzing the video we got. I'm analyzing the perk chart. I'm squinting at this image, and I'm trying to get you guys the most likely to be true content. So hopefully you guys understand that. So yeah. But that's going to be it for this chart analysis video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like below and subscribe for more Fallout 4 content. Again, I'm going to be posting more of these videos every time it comes out. So subscribe so you can stay tuned so you can see those. And be sure to join me Fridays for Fall Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Rob, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Happy Vault dwelling.